I think we lost a lot of effort fighting Monsanto. I'm going to say this, that sounds contradictory. I'm really glad that it was so clear that it was 5 players in the world who were evil and all they wanted was money and so on. That made it a lot easier to identify them and fight with them. But at the same time, we lost a huge amount of time thinking or acting as though it was only about money, as though it was only about greed and corporate power and so on. It's not. It is much deeper than that. And I honestly wish, and I tried, I really tried, and I continue to try. I honestly wish that we could have seen clearly at that time, as as a community, and stopped obsessing about this one player, and realized that what was happening was that we were being transformed inside, and our children. And even in our fights against Monsanto, we were quoting them as saying, we're going to change the biological world. We have this power. And then we would say, oh, they have this power, they're going to use it for evil purposes. Instead of saying, no, you don't have that power. You shouldn't have that power. And actually, your manipulations of biology don't give you that power. This is not a technology that gives you that power. You're just faking it. And that kind of critique back in the 1990s and early 2000s was impossible. I really could never get across to people who were opposing genetic engineering this idea, okay, let's fight it in the form of Monsanto, but at the same time, let's try to keep the focus on this cultural transformation that is happening. There's something really good to be said for gene drives, in that they make this so absolutely clear. And again, gene drives, and gene editing, whatever you want to call it now, every time they come up with a new name, they have to recognize that the previous generation was wrong. It's very funny to see the same actors or their descendants say, oh yeah, what we did back in the 1990s was so bad. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't have control, but now we do. And it's funny that people would not realize how shallow that way of presenting themselves really is, because they've never known what they're doing. And in 5 years, we will have another name, another rebranding, and those people in 5 years are going to say, oh yeah, back then CRISPR was so wrong. In fact, they're already saying CRISPR has all these limitations, it's not good enough, but now we're going to have the new wave.